I think right click it, or there might be three dots in the corner. Click it and then say pin. If not, when we're on mute, whoever speaks.
Go on there and see if you can maximize that. There we go. There we go. We got it.
Okay, so roll call. Jarrett.
Here.
Stan.
Yes.
Angie.
Here.
Kim.
Yes.
Brad here. Comments from the community. We only had the one?
Did we have our invitee?
No,
Or he didn't come?
they were in an accident. They're not gonna be here tonight, so.
Okay.
Anybody's, people gotta give me a paper. This is for Michelle. Where's the rest of them?
Let's just sign in. There's another sheet for. That's the one we had. I got a late copy.
Who filled one out? Who wants to speak tonight?
Brad,
1, 2.
I'd like to say something.
Yeah, but fill out a sheet.
When we say the pledge of allegiance to the flag of this country, I'd like to see all gentlemen take their hats off. Can that happen?
Sure, we can do
Because I
that.
saw 3 people in this room without hats being removed.
All right, we'll have to note that. Okay, so let's put that down first thing.
It wasn't a question.
All right, so
Good point, Jake. Thank you.
hats.
Congress says every veteran can salute the flag. Color.
I don't want to hear
I'm sorry.
Okay, so this is what we got through,
We have 3 minutes. Let's set the timer.
2 people? Where's the other one? That's it, 2? Okay, no name. Is that you? No name?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Here to talk about a couple of things today. So, when I ran for Columbus Township Supervisor, I did it with, one of my primary things I wanted to do was fix the ordinances. For a couple of reasons. One, to keep the township out of trouble, and 2, to make sure that all the residents' rights were being protected. So I came in for pull a sign for a winery the other day with $50 in my pocket, thinking that that was going to be plenty. Only to find out that it was over $300 in fees to do something as simple as pull a sign ordinance. So I went home, did some research, and found out that not only is the sign ordinance unconstitutional, it's illegal and unenforceable. So I'm gonna give you guys this data real quick to take a look at. And I need to know what you want me to do with that. I'm not gonna voluntarily hand over $300. I don't have to. There's a number of things wrong with the ordinance. It's the amount of defeat. It's spelled out in detail there, but not only is it spelled out, it's spelled out how to fix it.
You only have 2 copies?
Of that one. More copies will be here in a second. I got more to hand out. So I need to know what you want to do on the sign ordinance real quick. So my 3 minutes needs to stop for a sec. Will you guys tell me what you're gonna do?
Well,
don't have
we-
to
yeah, we
respond.
can-
You get to
yeah.
speak your piece. We don't have to respond.
Yeah, keep going and then we'll look this over as you're
Okay.
talking.
So there's 2 more that I've printed out. There's a Columbus resident occupancy ordinance as well that I did the same thing. What's the ordinance? What's wrong with it? How does it need to be fixed? What are the liabilities to the township if they enforce it? Then I pulled another list of 15. I have a total list of over 200 ordinances that violate the Constitution. I'm happy to assist the township in fixing those. I'm happy to show you details, show you how they're fixed, and case law to back it up. The last thing I'm doing today is a formal demand letter of a hearing to remove the Columbus Township Treasurer under MCL 117.1, Michigan Municipalities Act. And I have all the details here for everybody as to why and how and case law, and everything that you need to know. Do not have to wait for the 1-year mark. I've given you specifics on how long you have to hold a hearing, when you need to notify the public of that hearing to be held. I've also put in the back of this paper the motion that I will file if that hearing is not held, and then also the data that shows 10 different cases in the state of Michigan where elected officials were removed before their first year of service for reasons just like that are stated here, so. It speaks for itself, so that's it. You guys need to set up a hearing, here's the reasons why, feel free to give it to the attorney to back me up. I have copies of it. Oh, yeah.
Well,
That's kind of a request, it's a big answer there. Anybody want a copy?
okay,
That's it, 3 minutes.
we will look that over and. We just don't have time to read all this right now, but
Next person.
okay, Michelle Burke.
A couple of months ago, I suggested to the board that they read the Robert's Rules of Order. I was just wondering if anybody did.
Some of them I did for the meetings.
Okay, well, I'm recommending that you do. I think the board needs a sense of order and decorum, and that's what I suggest. Or even something that is similar to the Robert's Rules of Order. And in regard to the lawyer, I know he's not here today, but I think he should stay on. I think he understands the legal language, which in itself can be mind-boggling. And he went to school for this. He's got a lot of years of experience. And just reading something out of a book is not enough. There's more to it. And I think that he has that expertise to do that.
All right, thanks. Lot of stuff here. All right, so no communications. Okay, I guess we gotta approve the agenda. Approval of the agenda. Did you guys look it over? Everybody?
Can we add on the bottom under H, I, other board discussion?
Say that again, other one?
Other board discussion.
Can you
Oh,
be
we
more
forgot that
specific?
part. Yeah, that should have been in number 8 should have been board discussion, 9 should be adjournment. He's right. So let's cross 8 off for adjournment, and put board discussion.
9 should be public comment again.
9 is adjournment.
No, 9 should be public comment.
We have
again.
public comments up here.
No, at the end, we were doing it too. The people asked for us to do it at the beginning and the end.
We did that.
That would be I.
No, it would be 8 and 9. It's not under new business. It's 8 and 9. 8 is board discussion.
Yeah.
Then they want 9 to be public comment. And 10 would be adjournment.
Okay. Did it?
Also, there's no assessor's report in here, in my packet, or an attorney report. So those can come off.
They just stay on here. There is just nothing to report.
And question about the track register and budget adjustment. What is the budget adjustment?
I just happened, if you saw that, I put it in there to just show you I did the budget adjustment. There's a paper in there that shows it.
All right, we good with this? We had a week to look at it almost, so
Somebody gonna make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the amendments 8, 9, and 10.
I'll second.
All right, we'll have the vote. Jared,
Yes.
Stan,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Angie,
No,
Brad. I'll abstain from that. The motion passes.
You can't abstain, you have to vote.
well, the lawyer said last time you could.
No, he didn't.
Motion passes either way, so. All right, moved on to the routine business. Approval of minutes from 3/11/25, 3/22/25, and 3/26/25. 3 different meetings.
Let's do them individually.
Yeah, we should.
So. The 3/11. I didn't really see nothing I wanted to change. So. Anybody got anything?
On page 205, under C, the check register. What GL numbers did those 4 checks go under, Angie?
It's on the paper that's attached. At the time, I said I would. And if you look at the. Right here,
Okay,
so if you wanted to put that with.
so that's FYI only, we're
Yeah,
not voting on
yeah.
it.
Correct. That's the ones we approved it at that meeting.
But.
And then Kim didn't know how to do it. I figured out how to do it. So
But I believe that needs to. be
I could
in the
add those,
minute.
I could add those in. if you
Yes,
want.
they need to
Okay,
go. in.
then I'll just add those. Okay, so we can approve them with adding the GL numbers to the budget and I'll do that.
You got anything, Stan?
No.
Jared?
Not on the 11th.
Any motions?
I'll make a motion to approve with the addition of adding the GL numbers in.
Second.
All right, vote. Stan,
Yes.
Jared,
Yes.
Kim, Angie,
Yes,
Brad, yes. Motion carries. Meeting minutes for 3/11/25 is done. 3/22/25, a special meeting to review budget. There's really no information on it. I mean, I don't know what we can change, but I know there was over 3 hours of discussion on it. You guys made some changes and there's nothing on this paper that the secretary took notes from.
We didn't make any changes.
We didn't make
made
changes, we
questions.
couldn't.
Yeah, we could have.
Well,
made changes.
By that, I mean, write them down on a piece of paper so they're ready for the next meeting when we did do the budget.
There, we asked you, that's what we had a hearing for, was to ask all our questions at that hearing for that budget meeting.
Well, if this is all you got, then you want to
approve them.
approve it then?
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the 3/22/2025 special meeting.
A second,
Okay, we'll vote. Kim,
yes.
Angie,
I'm abstaining. Isn't there?
Stan,
Yes.
Jared,
Yes.
Brad, I abstain also. Motion carries and they are passed, approved. For 3/22/25, okay, now 3/26/25. Anybody have anything for that?
I see a typo right here. The last line of section 2, I put should instead of showed.
Oh, yeah, I seen it when I read it last time, but. I
But I've changed it.
didn't think it was a big deal.
Yeah, on page 1 of 3. So in the second comment. 7th line starts with the word treasurer. Said. Take out, she did not think. And then between was and legal,
Where was it?
add the word not,
Where were you at?
the 7th line down.
Okay, I'm not
at top 2.
understanding.
Oh,
The treasurer's.
number
tab.
2, not 2A?
No, she's got 2, treasurer.
2. The
Say
line that says
say it-
treasurer.
Say how you want it to sound.
Okay, treasurer said that the meeting was not legal. So take out, she did not think. And add the word not between was and legal.
Okay.
And after the very last line, it says supervisor showed a copy of the notice that was put in the paper. I thought that was you, Angie,
No.
that did that.
No, it wasn't, it was him. He had it, I can look at stuff.
Okay. And I believe that's all I have for that.
You guys got anything?
I want to make a motion.
Make a motion to approve the March 26th, 25 minutes with the corrections.
I'll support.
You support? All right, do a vote. Kim,
No,
Angie,
Yes.
Jared,
Yes.
Stan,
No,
Brad, I abstain. So you got a 2-2.
Then we have no vote.
Okay,
We can't. Well, we can, then the corrections that Kim made can't happen.
okay.
Okay, they can't happen if there's no vote.
So motion does not carry. Move on to the next thing. The treasury report. I don't have anything on that in my paperwork.
nope, because you said I couldn't turn in anything after Tuesday at noon. So, and I wasn't here at that training, is what your text said.
So, town treasury report. Check register and budget adjustment.
I have one question about your mileage. Because you put down here. Oh, and I didn't, it's on my desk. First State Bank, you went there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
Okay,
But when I go into the bank account, no, 6 times you did, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 times. But when I go into the bank account this morning, the only days you actually made a deposit was February 3rd and February 28th. So I'm just wondering why you went to the bank all those other times, and why did you make all these trips to the post office when we have a postage meter? Because normally what I would do, post office, mail, election, or mail ballots, which I don't do.
I had to pick up two different days. I had to pick up registered mail. And as far as the bank goes, I mean, I don't need the 73 cents or whatever, so I wouldn't lie about it. But it was in February during tax season.
So do you think in the future you could put post office registered letters or something, so it's a little more explanatory. I do, when I write mine, I write like whatever I did. Because the old board wanted it explicit.
But I think on all the old ones, I believe, it just has to have a map and the day you go. But. If that's gonna make it much easier, sure.
Yeah, then it takes
I would
away,
love-
it takes away anybody questioning why you were there. That's all it does. It
I
just-
think that everybody should do that.
I
though.
do. I do, because I went here to the bank with you that one day, first day, and then I went to the clerk's meeting. And that's what I wrote down, and I wrote the address and why I went.
Sure.
That's no big deal. That's the only question I had about that.
Anybody else got anything on that stuff?
The check register. Up to 3/24, 2025 is coming out of the old budget, correct?
Correct.
And then starting 4/1,
Goes on the new one.
they should have been separate sheets, but
Well, it doesn't,
It
it doesn't affect, this is just so we have to approve what we spend. This isn't affecting the budget. It's still budgeting it to the right, to the correct year.
It still needs to be 2 separate check registers, so.
Well, I'll remember that for next year.
Well, you can just fix it and make it a new one. I mean, it's not like you have to do it right this second, but it does need to be 2 separate check registers.
Well, okay, we've never done that before. Nobody ever questioned it before, including you, Stan, in the last 5 years, but I can do that, not a problem.
Okay, so then we will,
I got one more question. The Foster, Swift and Collins, is that our portion that we're paying on that solar suit?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, $200 some.
and then my other question is,
It was
with
1,000.
Brad, with your cell phone is 441.62.
That was 3 phone, it's all the documents are.
I know, but we paid 2 checks of $300 some back in November or December.
No, I think this is the first check. November, we wouldn't have, he didn't even have a
And
phone in.
why isn't in billed to Columbus Township? Why do you have it in your personal name?
They wouldn't do it.
Well, the biggest thing is the credit. I'll pay the bill because it's on my credit and I'll make sure that it's paid. The township bills have not been paid on time, so the credit is a dubious issue, okay? I'm not going through that.
You are not allowed to have a cell phone with just your name on it. It is property of the township. It must be in the township's name.
Do you have some,
All the bills need to come through the township in the township's name, and we are not allowed to write you a personal check to cover reimbursement for personal things. This phone is owned by the township. It needs to be in the township name. It also needs to get the tax exempt credit on there, which doesn't in your name, and
okay,
that's how it goes.
when you show me the paperwork for all that, then we'll change it over. We'll get it done. Okay, so are we gonna pass this then, or make a motion?
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the check register checks 5208 to 5251. And one. Let's see, how many EFTs? One.
Andrea, you got one more question, checking up Elon Financial Services for office supplies. We don't have any bills again for what we bought.
Which, now that we're talking about it, I have to talk about that. Well, no,
52
it wasn't, because I showed it to you last month, remember, at the meeting, because we had to approve paying it ahead of time, because,
I don't
so,
recall that.
yeah, and you guys asked me to change it to
The 20th.
the 20th, which I did, I couldn't, they told me I had to do it for the 19th. But I did get the bill today in the mail that we have to approve so I can pay it. But she told me when I called there would be one more month before it would kick into the new due date. So this should be the only one. No, it's right here. Right here. All the documents are here.
For everything that we bought for office supplies, all the office supplies are listed that we
Everything's
bought.
in here, everything's in here.
I must have got
Batteries,
half of your guys'
calculator,
things.
ribbon, copy, paper.
I didn't get that part either.
Did you print it from the
Yeah.
doc? Maybe you skipped something.
No, I printed.
But yeah, it's all there and it's all broken down. Building, general administration.
$441.62.
And here, if you guys want to look at this new one. Here's all the copies. You guys can look at it if you want before we okay it. This was the meals for the Board of Review.
And we can't do that either. That's unlawful
And-
expenditure.
Anyway,
I'm
this,
just
and
telling
these
you,
are the
can't.
books. It was approved.
It,
We've done it.
it's an
for-
unlaw, we found out at that class, it's an unlawful expenditure, believe it or not.
You can't buy
We've been
water.
doing it for like 20 years.
I know, Andy, but here's the thing, that's
That-
why we went to the class.
Okay, just calm down. And then this was the way we've always done it. And if
It-
that's the case, then next Board of Review, we won't. That's next year.
And we still can't approve it now. It's
Well,
illegal.
it's over and done. It's gotta be paid. Can't-
Well, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not approving it. It's illegal to
Okay,
do
well,
that.
we have checks.
Same with, just so you know, same with office refreshments. We cannot buy that anymore. If
We
you guys
have
are
a-
buying that, you
What
cannot.
office refreshments?
Water, coffee, can't buy any of that.
Who's buying that?
I don't even know when last time we bought water or coffee. Well, we have to buy water because the water from this faucet is funky.
Well,
I
that's-
personally don't drink it. I bring my
I
own
don't
from
drink
home.
it either, but we need to bring our own from home because it's considered a unlawful township expenditure.
Okay, so,
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 electronic. And it totaling 82,289.45.
I want to remove check 5249 till we get those bills.
what's
And,
that for?
They are there.
yeah, the bills are there, but it's not in the township name and we can't do it that way.
No.
And, that's the only one we have to remove. But the amount of the, credit card bill minus the pizza. So whatever that amount
So
is.
just know, if we pay this bill without that, they'll shut the card off again like they did the last.
I don't know, then maybe we take up the office, everybody chips in a few bucks to pay for it, but we cannot spend township money.
You're not
on
getting an
food.
argument from me. Because personally, I think when you're only here for 6 hours, you could bring a sandwich if you're that hungry. I agree with you, but I'm just saying. It was approved. We've done this forever. If it's not something we're gonna do in the future, we need to let the Board of Review people know that for the future, but in the meantime, it was already approved, so
By who though? We didn't approve it at any meeting to buy
it
them
doesn't
lunch.
have to be if it's under $500. Mike talked to Brad about it because he's the one that ordered the food.
Mike wanted the food. They do it every year or every time they
That's
do
what he
this
said.
stuff,
And I've
so.
said it numerous times. It's only 6 items.
All right, so what's the motion? What do you want to change? What do you want to do here?
It's on the next bill that's coming up, so. But I don't know what to tell you about this with the phone bill, because we're not going, the only thing we can do is have Mike see if he can call Thursday and change it into the township's name.
They won't do it. And I'll tell you why. Because Bruce still has his name on the account and he's using this address and I can't use this address. That is the reason why they wouldn't do it. I tried to talk to him to get him off that and he didn't do it. So this is where we're left. It had to be in my name, not the township's name. They wouldn't put it in the township's name and they wouldn't send the bill to the township.
And then they're not gonna give you the tax exempt because it's not in the township name.
Right,
So
and
Why? Because it's still Bruce's name, he's holding.
The account?
he's holding this address hostage, basically,
How can you do that?
because his phone was on.
well, he doesn't. You can have multiple.
What do you mean he
phones.
doesn't?
You can have multiple phones. that
Okay,
all
then
have
maybe
the
you
same
should take care of
address.
that Thursday then. I mean, because I tried. You wanna go up there? We'll go up there. Me and you will go right to Verizon. We'll see if they'll do it. And we'll take care of it.
Yeah, we gotta see, that doesn't make sense, that part of the board anymore.
No.
He would be,
No.
you know, I understand what you're saying.
I
You
know.
said you-
I argued with the
yeah.
guy for an hour.
We're,
Take
just
take
so,
the
just so
minutes
you
for
know,
you,
just
with
so you know. Comcast still has Bruce's name on it, and we've been trying to get Bruce's name off Comcast and we can't.
We gotta
Well,
figure
if we
something
take the minutes from the election from November that says, I think it's November that he lost. And take those minutes and turn them
The
into,
minutes don't say who won or lost.
okay, well, we
Well,
pull up
there's
the
doc
county
somewhere like that.
documentation of who won and take that to them. And that proves that.
Well, what about
he's no
the
longer-
proof that when Brad was sworn in, that should be adequate, shouldn't it?
Right,
Oh, yeah,
there's plenty of things, we just gotta talk to the supervisor at these places,
Mhm.
because there should be no reason why you're still on any of this stuff.
Bruce could just go up there and take care of it all. And take his phone right off of it because they took his phone. So
right.
Right.
But what happened with that credit from his phone? Because it was my.
Yeah, that was a
understanding that
township
you got
owned
it.
phone. Where
It
did
was
they?
a $19 debit card. I gave it to Mike to buy office supplies.
well, no, they
Oh, it's
credited,
$900.
they credited it, the bill over so many years. They wouldn't let you pay it all up at one, upfront at one time. And otherwise they wouldn't give it a discount. So they had to drag this thing
And
out. So
there's
it's so
the
much
credit
per
on
month
that
to pay
phone
for the
that
phone.
got it.
And
You got
that's with the credit. So
70-some cent credit.
once that
on
thing's
what I
paid
had
off,
paid
it
on
goes
the
back
bill.
down to the $90, the same
That's all
phone
we
bill
got.
Bruce had.
Ask Mike.
That's
if
what
he's
they
got
told
it.
me. So
So they took the old phone and didn't give you anything for it?
No.
they did give me something.
Oh, did they give it against your new phone?
Yeah, they did
Oh,
a credit. I
okay.
just explained that. They took and they took that phone and they gave me the credit over a period of years. They wouldn't take the phone and just get paid all up front. They wouldn't give the discount then. So they had to take the phone and spread it out. So that's why the bill's $130 a month or whatever. And we got 3 months worth of bills, so. Anyway, so what do you want to do with this?
Check number 6249 needs to come off.
And which one's that for?
Yours.
Yeah. I'm against that, but what do you all think? You paid it before.
I know. So it's going to be.
We gotta make sure it's legal, so
It's
I
not
want it
legal.
removed also.
There's a valid question to it, then.
Yeah, and there is.
I don't think there is. They don't have any proof there's a legal issue with it.
Yeah, I do. I just didn't bring it here.
Well, let's see
I will
it.
give it, I will give it to you
Bring
tomorrow.
it, bring
You
it to the
cannot
next
have
meeting
it.
then.
Who do we question, who's the authority on this is legal?
Well, it's a MCL. I have it in one of the packets I got. So I
Well,
just don't know it
I
offhand.
guess-
No, I understand, but who do we call and say, this is the
MTA.
situation?
MTA
Can we
doesn't have the
pay-
authority for
can we
that.
pay his, how he's doing it, is this all right? Until he gets squared away.
You can call MTA now.
The MTA doesn't have the authority. They are no government legal entity that has the authority to tell you what to do. They give you suggestions on how to run your community. That's what they do.
What the law is what they do. They tell you what the MCL is. They let you know what the
Well,
law
find the
is.
MCL numbers then and forget the MTA. Michigan compiled law.
I don't know.
Get it from them. Why are you going to the MTA? That's all I say.
He asked if there's somebody that we can
Yeah,
call, and
Okay,
I
so,
said
okay,
yes.
okay, so we're getting nowhere with this. What are we deciding? Are we removing that check from the
Yes.
check register?
We're gonna have a motion to move and take a vote or what?
Yeah.
We'll remove that one check, which will make the new total 81,000 847.83.
And there's nothing to back that up.
Well.
I want
and
that
then-
noted
and then
on the
we're gonna
minutes.
put-
I want
so
it
you
noted
want-
on the
well,
minutes.
I'm not making a motion anymore, because now you've changed it. Somebody else is gonna have to make that motion. To remove
I make a motion to remove check number 5249,
It's
From this month's
52.49.
5249.
Yeah, I thought you
That's what I
said
said.
62 for $441.62 until we get the bill corrected, until the bill is corrected.
Correct.
So you're making.
I'll second that motion.
Right,
Okay,
have a vote, Kim,
Yes.
Stan,
Yes,
Jared,
Yes.
Angie,
no,
Brad, no.
Andrew, what was your new total?
Motion
again?
will pass.
81,847.83.
Okay. Just wanted to double check, sorry.
But I want it noted in the minutes,
What?
no proof of MCL, whatever for this deal. This is all hearsay. Basically harassment. Okay, so the motion passed. So let's move on to the next one. Office move, right? The rest of it's assessor's report, attorney's report. We have nothing. The office move. Okay,
No. Yep.
so
Oh, wait,
the board voted unanimously to move back in what date was it? January 14th.
pass it down to them.
To move treasurer office by 1/23/25. Everybody voted yes, motion passed, and it still hasn't been done yet. So I make a motion to move Thursday. Regardless if the treasurer's there or not, get the job done. Dragged out for months, so.
Because we
Is there any
also made,
seconds?
we also made a motion after that to keep me there. And
No,
that
we
passed.
never did.
Yes, we
yes, we
did.
did.
Where's it at?
Show me the minutes that say that.
Okay. It was, I think it was February's meeting, but it might be January's meeting.
This is January's meeting.
Oh, then it was February's meeting.
We'll pull up the information then, let's see it.
Okay, I think everyone can wait till I go look through the minute book for it.
Go ahead.
All right, Angie, go grab the minute book. You have it in your office.
You can get it. Yeah, I gave you a copy.
Meeting.
You don't
No.
keep your copies of the minutes?
Oh, you didn't give me a copy.
You didn't get a copy of the minutes with the March meeting?
Yes.
Yes, you do, every month.
That might have been February, though.
It was February.
So the February minutes would have been in the March meeting packet.
So here's the March meeting, it's in your packet, you got it. Where's it saying? Show us. Let's just move on, and if this is
Let's
good,
just move on. Is anybody seconding
I
it?
am. I am not having my kitchen area
Not
or
yours.
the ability to wash a dish. I am not washing my lunch dishes or my coffee cup 5 feet away from a toilet. That is a health risk. I haven't
I don't
called,
know what you're talking about because we said the whole reason I gave you guys a key to my office was so you could go in and wash.
well,
your
then, here's the thing. All that stuff needs to be put back where it was, which is basically
No.
all we, don't say no, Kim.
I
You
am
do
saying
not
no.
own that room.
Neither do you.
No, I do not.
And
But
I,
that
it's
has
not
been the
required
break room.
for me to have a refrigerator, a
And it's-
microwave,
And you are
all that
welcome to move
inside
into the,
of
and you are
my
welcome to
office.
move into the assessor's office.
No, I'm not moving into that.
okay, so I made the
So I
motion,
supported.
okay,
These minutes that they're stating.
they don't have them,
February minutes.
they don't
I
have them.
don't have
Didn't know I needed to bring them,
So
so,
saw that.
so let's table it till next
No,
month.
No,
no.
we're not
we
tabling.
and tabled it
And then we'll
tabled
bring it to.
No.
a vote. Exactly.
I'm going to find it right now. It's about in front of me. Be back in a minute.
Now who's harassing who?
Okay,
Exactly.
again, you cannot speak out during a meeting.
So we give our word and never stick by our word, is that what you're saying, sir? We vote yes. The whole board votes unanimously, and then we just disregard what the whole board votes on?
We're not interacting. We're not interacting.
And every time.
Okay, we are not interacting. Yes.
And you give her no respect the whole time she's up there.
Okay.
So watch that from back here.
Really,
Brad,
Right.
let's take it to a vote.
yeah,
Just remember, you're voted in. Everybody.
you're right. Okay, so no more comments, please, until the end.
Okay.
So we
You made
did,
the motion, I
I'd
supported.
like just to see if there's a set of minutes out there that they're claiming.
how long do you want to wait?
Well, we gotta figure them out.
We've been waiting
If
4 months already.
They haven't, there's no minutes that state that, this is what we voted on, then we move forward, but there's minutes that say what she's stating. then we have
I
an
mean,
issue.
you guys were all present for it and all voted,
Yeah, I
yeah.
remember it. We said, leave it for now because it was busy tax season.
And as long as they had a key to be able to get into my office and didn't have to use the sink in the bathroom, that we would leave it the way it was.
We weren't aware of the cost or anything. And it's foolish.
The key issue, I do recall, yeah, that was the plan to leave,
That was,
to get in there, that was the last thing I remember deciding, I don't.
and Mike has the key, has had it since that meeting. So
We displaced 12 people for one.
Which is super nice, no, we're just, you know, we're just gonna do the minutes are there, it's stated.
You'd almost have to
Motion.
watch the video too, because sometimes it ain't put in a minute.
We approved the minutes. You approved
Motion
them.
Green. Support Hetzel to have all office doors remain unlocked during office hours and supervisor has the key until the March meeting.
Which I don't have.
no, Mike has the key because Mike's supposed to have all of our keys, which he doesn't have one
So
of
that was
yours
motion,
or
keep it
Ann.
unlocked to the
He
March
absolutely
meeting.
does have.
Till the March meeting.
March meeting, never really spoke about the office until now.
Exactly.
But
So
the
we let
last
it-
motion we made was to leave the offices unlocked,
And it's never happened yet.
well, we have to leave it unlocked.
Do you have to swear?
It's
Well,
unlocked.
I'm just, we have, my opinion, like I said before, is everyone's office, whether you're here or not, should be unlocked during business hours.
Yeah,
It'd be very.
I know.
simple.
but when you're not here, you can't see what's going on. You don't know.
I'm just saying,
Exactly.
just when if you're not here, the office should be unlocked during business hours. I don't understand what the big issue is on that.
Do people want to
I
use?
understand- no, I understand, but they have-
The issue I have is
Uh,
when I have an election, I can't have that refrigerator, microwave, all that stuff where my poll workers don't have a place to go to eat their lunch.
We're not
They
sitting in my
can't do
office to eat their lunch.
What
so.
was it in the past? You don't mind me
It,
asking?
that
before?
kitchen was set up in there. We specifically had it built to be a break room. Phoebe always left it unlocked and on
Phoebe
election,
was in there.
yes. And on election day, she just didn't come into work because we use that as our lunch
And it
break room,
worked with Phoebe in there with the door unlocked.
always.
Can we go to that?
Hey, Mike, I'm gonna
That's
put you
all,
on speaker
I want the,
because we
I
have a
just want to
question we
make
need
that go back to
uh,
where it was.
Can we,
To verify.
that's how
what-
it used to be. Why can't we go back as long as the door?
I agree with you completely.
The
I
door is
agree.
always left open.
Well, that's
And
what I'm
if-
saying.
And if that's the
during
case, Mike
business
can unlock the door in the morning so people have access it, and then I can put checks in the safe.
That's what, Mike,
Yeah.
have you had a key to my office since 2 meetings ago when we said, when we passed it, that everyone needs to have, you have to have a key for?
Are you asking me if I have the key?
Yes.
Yes, oh yes, of course.
Okay,
Ask him if he ever opened the door.
Have
okay.
you
I-
ever
I
opened the
don't-
door?
I don't
Yes.
understand
Who?
why we're including Mike into our board
I
discussion.
don't know.
Because
That
Mike
is
is the
not
one
le-
that has the keys.
It doesn't matter. He's not part of this board.
Well, he's part of this employment and part of this.
Okay,
town.
I agree with you, Jared. We should make it go back to the way
Thank
it
you, Mike.
was.
Yes. That's how it worked in the past.
Bye-bye.
Leave the doors open, whether you, whoever, during business hours. I don't understand how hard that.
And that
That's how
goes
the-
for everyone.
Everybody, that's just how.
What about all the kitchen stuff? What are you gonna do with that?
Put
The
it back
kitchen,
where
the
it
kitchen stuff
belongs.
needs to be in there, put it back in there.
Yeah,
That's
but
how it
we're-
works.
That's what we're trying to do.
No,
That's-
but here's the thing, then you put all the kitchen stuff in there and then I have people sitting in the treasurer's office. No, they
Okay.
kitchen
Well,
stuff.
they
is
don't
fine the
come
way
and
it
sit
is.
in
But I'm
there.
just saying, if that's how it
Except-
was in the past,
Yeah.
and it worked,
It did.
But it works for her. Nobody else
Okay,
has a
well.
kitchen run out of their office. Angie wants it so bad, let her have the office with the kitchen stuff in it.
That's why you agreed to move to the assessor's office.
I didn't, I'm not.
We all voted, unanimously. It's right there.
You guys lead me into it.
No,
No, nobody
Yes,
can
you
bully
did.
you, Kim.
Oh, yes. you
Nobody
did.
can.
You know,
Okay.
this is embarrassing to the township to sit here and,
You know what else is embarrassing? In 16 years, is that how long you've been a trustee?
no, longer than that.
Well, then you should be embarrassed about a lot of things.
Name a few.
I don't even want to
Well,
embarrass him for.
my opinion
Let's,
is-
let's
my
make
opinion
a
is both
motion.
ways.
You know, why don't you guys be a board and figure things out that way?
Tony?
No, we're not gonna bring from the crowd. We can't have people shouting from the crowd, good or bad. If that continues,
that's
We'll
why these
adjourn the
fellas
meeting.
back there are there.
simple as that. We'll just adjourn this meeting and then I'll continue to adjourn it until my term's up or I get a special election or whatever, because this is ridiculous. We
It
are
is
trying to get it done. Is it easy? No. We're new. Apparently, you can see not everyone gets along. I was just at a meeting earlier today. They said it takes 2 years. 2 years just to get the basics of this job for new people. This is
Right.
coming from supervisors throughout the county, 2 years. And that's just the basics, not even though they say you may not figure out this job in 4. It takes time, and everyone here that just thinks this is gonna happen overnight, you're ridiculous. And everyone think here the different personalities are gonna just come together and work harmlessly, you're ridiculous. Yes, we have to work. My opinion is put the office back to the way it was, see how it goes. That's how it was, it's how it's been in the past. Phoebe had it, with the old treasurer, with everything, and it worked and the doors are unlocked. Why we're locked doors, I have no idea.
I agree.
That's how I feel about it. If it doesn't work and you're getting, and you're coming in, there's too much traffic, then we'll, like we've done our things, we'll bring it up the next meeting, say, there's just too much traffic. I've been there, people are coming in hanging out. I don't know who's hanging out. There's not that many people. Was there 5 people during the day
Right.
at the most? So I don't know who's coming
So,
in, using micro. I
George,
understand,
let me
but
ask you this.
yes.
Why
Well-
can it not stay where it currently sits and there's not an issue with it?
in my opinion, I don't know, because I'm gonna say, honestly, I don't eat lunch here. I don't know. I don't know why it's a big deal where a microwave is. I don't know.
I don't either, so
Okay,
that's what I'm saying,
but-
it is a big deal to me
That's a big.
to have it in my room. And have everybody in and out, why can't we leave it right where it's
You can
at?
have the assessor's room and it's got a lock. We voted on that. You
No.
agreed to
Hold
that.
on. Get the assessor, what is out there, microwave and refrigerator? I mean, what used to be in there?
Microwave, a refrigerator and a toaster oven and the
a
ability
coffee
to
pot.
put the ability to put all the cups, plates.
I have all the
everything on
cups and
shelf.
everything put in the file cabinet,
The office
Okay, so
supply cabinet.
what if that office stays open? So you can wash your hands,
yep,
leave the things that are in out, and that's step 1. At least the office is open during, you can go in there and wash your hands, you're not washing next to a toilet.
yep.
Step 1. If it becomes a problem,
It will be,
What about
on
moving
a-
that
it
stuff
will
back?
be when there's an election.
well, an election.
Well,
then
we don't have an election for
We
a
can
year.
move it
That's
for
not
election
true.
after,
I went to a
because you
clerk's
said it's
meeting and they
couple
said I'll
little
probably
things.
have one in August.
Well,
And if I have an
The-
election in August,
fridge
I
and stuff?
can't.
when
Oh,
it
that's
comes,
right.
when it comes
Something
down to
microwave.
the
And a refrigerator.
then we'll worry about it.
So
Refrigerator.
basically what we voted here. Motion Smith, support Behringer to move treasurer office by 123. Behringer, yes. Hetzel, yes. Dudek, yes. Greener, yes. Smith, yes. We're just throwing this out
No,
the
we're not.
window.
I was waiting for the February, which you read, which remember we said that.
And then the next
You
one
just
said
said-
we leave the door
We're gonna
open
leave it open.
because Kim said, I'm not moving during my busy time.
So
And then I talked to assessing and they said, can you wait till after board of review, which just was in March? And that's kind of where we left it. And that's why we didn't even talk about it doing something, because Christine and Sess were both here on Thursday, because when Kim, the week before the MTA workshop, I said to Kim, are you gonna be here on Thursday? And she said yes, because she said she would sign checks. And then when Brad said we're gonna move the
No.
office on Thursday, she said, I'm
that's when
not
they
coming
wanted
back.
me
till-
to.
I'm not coming
truly-
back."
So
I truly also believe with the second motion that we, as long as that office is unlocked, this office issue is behind us.
Yes,
Well,
that was my,
That's how I-
that was
that's how
my.
I-
so we have wasted way too much
Yes.
time, way too much
Yes.
time.
Okay, I make a motion that it stays the way it is right now.
With the door unlocked
With
during
the-
business
the
hours.
door
Not
could be
PM night,
unlocked.
The door unlocked during business,
I
all.
thought you were doing it.
No, there's no need to make a motion because that's what we're doing now.
Okay,
But it's never unlocked.
well, it has to.
Well, Mike's gonna unlock that door. when
Okay.
he walks.
That's,
Okay.
it's not my fault that if it ain't
Okay.
unlocked,
So
he
Mike-
has a key, he
okay.
can unlock it.
All offices
And
All
are unlocked.
offices.
there is an
You're not-
assessor's report right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's
So
make a
we're not
motion.
making a motion.
So
for
no,
nothing.
let's
Okay.
make a motion that during business hours, all offices
That, we
remain
already did that.
unlocked.
We already had that. We did that in February.
And that
I'll
all-
second your motion.
I think we should revise that before we second it.
They already did.
What is, what
Second,
is the
take a
working
vote.
hours you're talking?
Just, you know.
Office
the
hours.
the Working hours, so.
Well, some people have
No,
different
not-
hours.
No, just the office of the township.
What time is that?
That's, one's a
9 to
late day,
2.
and all the other days are 9 to 2.
So you're gonna open my office from 2 to 7 on Wednesday nights
That's,
with all
that's,
my personnel information? and
that's the hours. I
accessible?
mean, the only people, there's people that are working here is Justin,
And
Mhm.
me,
Mike.
usually.
Mike doesn't come in.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Justin and Kim, I mean, it's no different if she wasn't.
Well,
here.
she doesn't have a key to
That's
open my
the-
office. Mike has my key.
That's what I'm saying. They should, well, then
Leave
Justin or
darkness.
the key has to go both ways. So even on that late night, you know, and if things, which I can't believe,
I think
comes up
you're
missing, it's
talking about,
ridiculous, but that's how I think he's got it both ways.
talking about the office hours, you need to have Mike change that on the website for Wednesday because somebody at the bank told me she came here on Wednesday at 1:45. Cause she looked on the website and it said
The
we're
old
open.
one. So,
So there's a motion, let's do it.
So she could do
but the
the.
reword the motion at the.
All office doors
all
remain
doors
open during
township
office hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
If,
Office hours.
if needed, if you need to get in there, you gotta get in there.
Just unlock, we're not gonna, it's easy, unlock for office hours.
Well, we'll see how that works out.
Okay, let's take a vote,
Hasn't worked yet.
take a vote.
All right, take a vote. Stan,
Yes,
Jared,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Andy,
No,
Brad, no. Motion carries. All right, new business. I think we're on new business, right?
mhm.
Okay, we had a resignation on the planning commission, so there is an opening for that. It's being advertised on the website. Anybody interested, give me a resume, make appointment.
Well, you plan on, interviewing everyone in front at the board meeting? correct?
No, I don't.
Yes, you have to.
He
No.
doesn't have to because he appoints the planning.
All right.
commission.
MTA conference.
Well,
Let's
that's,
see what you learned at the MTA conference.
okay, obviously a few
Oh.
things.
I thought it was, for me being, first year trustee, I thought it was pretty, informative. Learned some things, found some good information out. Is it something I would have to go to every year? No, I don't think so, but being the first time, it was good to go, and I could see, like Stan, it's been a while, things are always changing, so I don't know what the year would be, well, once every, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, but there's some information, at least for me, that I got out of there that was worthwhile, for the day that I was there.
it was very good. In the morning session, it was the MTA lawyer talked about everything. You could ask questions about your situation. And then we broke for lunch and then they had another speaker from Judy Allen from the MTA that talked about the power of engagement. And then another lady took over for the last couple
Cindy
hours.
Cindy Dodge.
Cindy Dodge. And she went into detail with a lot of things of whose responsibilities are actually the statutory duties on a lot of jobs, and we learned quite a bit.
So what's the trustees' responsibilities?
Fiduciary mainly,
What are they?
huh?
What are they? That's what we're asking. You wanna-
Watching the budget, watching the bills every month that it should not be legally paid if you don't have proper documentation. See what else is,
There was so much.
yeah,
So much. Just because you've been doing it for years doesn't mean it's the right way
It's-
to do it.
Well, I'm asking Stan,
Stan.
actually. So
What?
I just wanna know, what did you learn? I mean,
When was
If-
the last time?
the
you
only
went to
thing you
one?
learned was about,
When was the last time you went to one, Stan?
I never went to one.
In over 20 years?
Yeah. Yeah, because it was never authorized before.
Well, I don't know that. I don't know.
what
that.
did they
Kids
tell you
know about
about,
it.
the trustees doing other work, Say, for instance, our drive around for the roads and stuff. What did they say? Anything about that or what? I
No.
mean,
They didn't say specifically like drive, but they just said that there's no one person on this board bigger than the other. We're all trustees, you're the supervisor, you're the spokesperson, or basically you catch all the slack too, because you're the figurehead, but there is no one figures. We can fill in roles like, we went on that drive along, go to meetings, we can, besides the financial side of it, we can't sign checks or anything like that, because we're not.
but you can't take on other responsibilities.
Yes, yeah, without a doubt.
Like what? I mean,
Like filling in for meetings, like, things like that, and going on road alongs and whatever, need to be, besides.
And if
when it
it's
comes to-
outside of your statutory duties, you could be compensated extra for it.
so like what? They could hire, we could have you cut grass for us or something like that, or what? What are you talking?
I didn't get into,
See, I don't think
Yeah,
that,
you
because
can
then
be-
you'd be basically
yeah,
an
that-
employee.
Yeah.
that'd be different,
Yeah.
from maybe conflict of interest, because you're giving me
Yeah.
a bid.
They could do
So-
other electees statutory duties and be compensated for that.
If need be.
Right.
So the treasurer, you were there, what, how many days?
I was there Monday till, Thursday.
So what did you get out of it?
Oh, a lot. I went to, a couple of ones of, the rules of do's and don'ts of public officials in our social media pages and our website. I went to a couple lawyer ones.
Is there any chance you can give us some of the paperwork that you got from them, so we can read it over, or we all know?
Sure.
Yeah, I got,
That's a packet.
this was Monday,
Fun.
right here.
Well, good, if you could give it to us, maybe we could talk more about it at next month's meeting.
Yeah,
Yep, a lot of it was done by lawyers, so everything is what the current law is. Just to give you a couple things, like I said at the last meeting for our Facebook page and our website. Do turn off comments. Let's see, it says have a visible social media policy that governs official accounts. Train staff on policies.
Can I interrupt you for a second? When they say we should have a policy, who do they suggest write that? What-
They have, we have a whole book that says,
have
has
samples?
samples, yep.
That'd be an idea.
Some of the don'ts are, you can't block or ban based on a viewpoint. You can't permanently block or ban without discussing with legal counsel. Keeping private social media, you can't use logos, township email address, hold yourself out to be a rep for the township on your own personal page.
what did they say about, negative comments from the people on the board?
They say don't do it.
What about
So-
liking negative comments?
I don't
So
think they really say.
So,
I mean.
So wouldn't
as
it
far
be the
as
same
it is-
thing?
It is your First Amendment right, but when you have a Facebook page and you are using the township's address, phone number, website, and everything as your own personal page, that's a no.
What did they teach you about treasury jobs, BSNA and all that kind of
Yep,
stuff?
Payments, who cannot.
I really-
Angie is the one that does processes all the payments, but like on our EFTs, and I just haven't had time to talk to you, you're not allowed to push the send button, that has to be me. I'm in charge of all the
Well, that-
sending the money.
then that's gonna be an issue, because you're not here during the day when I have to pay those bills.
I've seen you the last 2 days.
Well, you were
So,
here today for about 40 minutes.
and I was here yesterday also, and I was here 5 hours on Sunday because I was gone all last week.
Well, anyway, then if that's the case, and I've talked to several people too about some of these duties. What I need then is for you to commit to one specific date, because when I have to pay the IRS, when I have to pay the state of Michigan, when I have to do my,
As long as you do your part and I do my part, you're only responsible for your part, I'm responsible for my part.
and I guess I don't understand the EFT being by you when I have.
I
to
didn't
print the check.
either, but
Well,
that's
then
what
I
they were
need you
saying.
to make
So
copies of all that.
I
and
can, that's
Pass
not
it
a
all
problem.
out, so we can all look that over.
Absolutely, that's not a problem. I don't mind doing that for you.
Okay,
Put that in the notes.
I'm just gonna put that you're gonna provide us with, the paperwork.
Some
that-
new laws,
The paperwork you.
or maybe
received.
not new, but some correct,
EFTs.
correct, duty laws, maybe is a better way to say it.
Okay, and then we can talk about it at the next meeting.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, then we'll wait for the other information for next
Yeah,
month
so
for
we
the
have a
MTA
chance to
stuff,
look it over.
because
Yeah.
we have nothing
And
to
then
look
we'll have
at.
questions.
All right, so let's go to, these contracts we gotta look at, the Stafford grass cutting contract. That's next on the agenda.
This first top one, I think you got, this is the one Bruce did. Because we had remember Stan, we did the cemetery every other week starting in August. Or July, actually. Bruce was.
How many, did we rebid this grass cutting contract?
Good luck finding somebody to do it.
I'm happy.
Mike
Did we?
got D&E and they were a lot more expensive and I don't, that's not something I'm supposed to do, so.
How many estimates did we get? Just,
Actually, we don't have to put things out to bid. Did you know that? Because of the size of our township, but we can always find
But
out.
we're trying to save money. Why would
I
we not?
agree, but
Just wondering. We wanna save money, why don't we put it out for bid and
Do,
get a few bids?
I got a question. Do we have a list of everything when the contract is gonna run out, so we have adequate time? You know, we should have been talking about this months ago, so that we
Well-
could be pursuing bids.
Mhm.
this is kind of a given. Every spring, every fall.
Yeah,
In
I
the
know,
fall, we
but
have
you-
the snow, in the spring, we have the grass.
Uh,
And I guess my thing is, that might be a good job for you, Stan. Maybe you can start checking around with these people. It's just a matter of making a few phone calls and that would help. See if you can find him. Mike called DNA. I think he called a couple other people, but as he'll probably tell you, you can call 10 people and 2 might return your call.
Yeah, but I'm just
Maybe I
saying
did
is,
that
if we
before.
knew that the contract is
But you know
due
that,
this month,
You know that it's every spring and every fall.
huh?
We know it's every spring and every fall. This isn't anything new.
Well, you don't know that because it could be a year contract.
Yeah.
or a
It's every
3-year
All the
spring and every
contracts that we have with any vendor, whether it's the assessor, all that,
Even the garbage.
we could have a
contract.
list of everything and when it expires. So we get it on the agenda in time to review it. And, you know,
That's
search
a-
for
that's a
different
good-
alternatives.
That's a good job for somebody to do.
Well,
Start looking through the contract and see when they're all expiring. Just no grass and snow or seasonal.
Same with like Superior Heating Maintenance Agreement. I don't know what their agreement is, so it's hard to say anything, but we should get estimates on that too.
well, it says right there,
So,
service call protection, cleaning of the heat exchanger and blah, blah, blah. It says right there.
right, but we should still get other bids on it because we might be able to find somebody who can do it cheaper and better. You might get more for your money.
No?
I have
So what
a
is that?
question on the cemetery. Are they allowing zero turns in the cemetery again or not?
With that.
Nathan
for the
had,
com-
we
comment
had,
at the
we
end
had
of
an
it.
issue a few years back about the cemetery. That's his concern because.
Right, but
the
let's just
stones
have,
got
if you have any questions, you gotta.
Wait
time
till the
it.
last comment.
You can bring that
Yeah.
in,
Wait
please.
till the last comment.
Do that at-
I
Okay.
guess my question is, this is all fine and good and I agree, we should do that. Unfortunately, right now, we've got to make a decision, grass is growing, so we're gonna have
So-
to,
Well, the grass isn't quite grown yet. I think it'll be all right for,
a month.
yeah.
We look for someone else, I mean, we have to get on it. than a week,
Yeah, we'd have to.
I
right?
mean, it's snowing out right now,
So,
so.
Well, what about putting it on our website to see if there's somebody in the township that wants to bid it?
For sure.
Then you'd have to have a time, and if you wanna put it out for bids, I can't get my.
Put it out to the 30th of April or
Oh,
something.
You don't think the grass is gonna need cutting before the May meeting?
Well, if it stays this cold, probably not.
Well, yeah, but it's supposed to be 70 on Tuesday, and I think I heard today. Cause our meeting isn't till the 13th of May.
Well, I mean, we can always have staff to cut the grass once, we don't have to sign a contract to get them to cut the grass.
yes, they were actively.
Pursuing,
looking
and
for
maybe
pursuing,
they'll,
And maybe they'll drop the price, they would stick around, or we'll match whatever you find.
Okay, so what do you wanna make your motion?
that we, put out for bids for the grass cutting and
Don't do the other, cause that's not a separate item. If you do it one at a time. Put the grass cutting out for bids.
mhm.
And then we'll make a decision at next month's meeting.
Well,
And decide at 5:13 meeting.
but I still think that our trustees can do a few phone
Yeah, they could
calls.
make some calls for us, and then in the meantime, we can have Mike call Stafford and just see if they could come out and do a couple cuts.
Yeah, you could do that, but
Also, I think that we.
Yeah. It would only be
We
here,
don't wanna find, in my opinion, that these guys do the snow also, we have to find a combo. Not a lawnmower guy and someone else to.
Somebody who can do both.
that's what I say, you know,
So we have to do some work. to see those-
trustees can
Yeah,
make some phone calls, come back with 2 or 3 bids apiece from 2 different companies or 3 different companies.
that was your motion, is put grass cutting out for bids.
And then
decide
let's see
at
what
the
you got.
5:13
Grass
meeting.
and.
But it's
snow.
gonna
Grass
be
and
hard
snow.
because these people do not
Well,
call you back.
if they don't,
Okay.
then
Tell
we
them.
have
Okay.
staff for them, we just keep them. No one
And
calls
decide
back
at
in
the
the time.
5:13 meeting, should I put it in
They'll
your
try
head, like,
and
All right,
keep them.
cut the grass?
so that's Stafford.
Okay. This is the way Kim wants it. Put the grass cutting and snow out for bids and decide at the 5:13 meeting and have the office manager have the grass cut in the meantime, if needed.
Mm-hmm. That's the motion. Anybody second it? Let's move this.
Yeah, I'll
along.
second it.
All right, let's vote. Stan,
Yes,
Jared,
Yeah.
Kim,
Yeah.
Angie,
Yes,
Brad, yes, motion passes. All right, let's move on to the Superior.
wait, what order did you do? You did. Do that?
I did.
doing,
Yeah,
Pencil?
that's
Yeah.
so. You, me,
Okay,
Same, I make a motion to put out the bids for, heating maintenance agreement. Come back and, with some estimates in the,
Okay. Maintenance for
May meeting.
the heating and cooling.
mhm. So that's for the trustees, right?
Yeah, so Kim made the motion.
Anybody second
Bring
that?
to the- I will.
Okay, we can take a vote then. Stan,
yes,
Jared,
Yes.
Kim,
yes,
Angie.
Yes,
Brad, yes, motion passes again. Okay. Road commission and the match money. So. That's a big one there. That's where a lot of the money goes, right there. You guys looked at your paperwork?
so they're gonna do big hand on the 70-30 then. Correct?
Yeah. so-
Did they do?
That's, big hand will be on the 70-30. We're gonna pay 11,748.24. That's our share. They pay the rest. We also have some other stuff. This is our match money right here, this activity, the Columbus Township activity. We have 31,446 in there. That is used, this is coming from the county. This will be matched to whatever we spend. Okay. So we got that,
Towards like culvert replacement?
whatever you want, ditching culverts, you know, gravel. They got a couple, the one contract here.
But chloride, there's two
Yeah.
of them, we should only approve one.
Right,
Well, yeah, there's two of them. Okay, so that's what he suggested to us to do was the two chlorides a year. They are 25,000 each. That is.
we usually craft just one.
Oh,
And then see if
See
we
how
have
it
a
is.
dry summer,
Yeah,
right,
and remember.
before
the year
school
they-
starts.
the year They want to do it in October.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, then we could do that. Okay, you guys got a list and a town map and all that stuff. Okay, so the 39, we just went over this one. The,
So are we?
The big
approving-
hand.
Are we approving these in one big batch or are we approving
Yeah,
them
let's
one by one?
let's approve them all in one batch. I guess it's all for road commission.
So we're gonna.
Road commission
approve
and
the
match money.
Money, this limestone hall, the match money is going on Big Hand.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
just
that's
this
this
stuff.
one. And then we have
match
one
money,
chloride treatment. We can do that. Okay,
748.24, that's the one. And then we're gonna do this cross culvert on Warner Road.
yeah, that's this $8,600. That one's really bad. So
Yep.
on Werner Road.
That's the
that's,
Warner on the other side of the river, right?
yeah, so it's,
Okay,
We got it so
And
rusted
then-
out.
yeah,
the limestone hall for $165,345.60.
that's various gravel for the year. Okay, so that's can
Well,
be
I-
put on any roads that,
Well, he's got it listed here,
well, that's his suggestion, but we don't have to follow that. That is just what
but
he
if you
was.
went on the road ride, are those the roads? These?
Well, the only thing I see,
It's the north, south or east, west?
well, if
should be
Jared had that
east-west.
color code, what we try to do is like every third year. And we noticed that
It's east-west.
Weber Road between Stoddard and Bauman was not on the list. It's because they claimed they'd done it 2 years ago or 1 year ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, it was only a short section
I
that they
remember,
missed
yeah.
from the previous year.
Yeah.
So
I
Weber
remember.
Road
They did
is,
from Bauman to the culvert, and that was it.
Yeah.
So then the next year, they came back and did the culvert to the end of the road,
Just
Right.
which was
up
2
to
years
Stoddard.
ago. Yes.
so, but it is due, and the reason I think that that should be added is they show on Corner Road between Weber and Mescal being gravel hauled. Well, we done that all the way from Dolan Road to Big Hand last year.
So what are you saying? You want to take Croner? This
Take
is
the Croner off
Croner from Stoddard to Mescal?
Yeah.
You want to
And-
change that to?
to
Weber.
Weber between
from
Stoddard and
Stoddard
Bauman.
to, oh,
And it'll need the same amount of loads as Carroll Road, because it's the same distance.
even Croner.
No.
Yeah,
Carroll,
Oh,
I
I see
I
what
don't
you're saying.
agree with that because we drove around me in Clint. And that was not really what he was suggesting.
You remember, Jared?
Well, you drove around there because I got the map here, because like I said, they had it marked as done in 2023, so it looked like the whole road was done in 2023, so it'd be up for next year, but it stands that they only did half of it.
Yeah.
So we didn't even hit that road, they mistakenly put that blue line on there, stating that it was done in
So we're gonna-
2023,
so
so we never went, but the county labeled that wrong.
and then that way, all them roads will be done, and next year we can work on southern roads.
Because we're doing everything here. So, but here's my question. So you want to bump it from 448 ton to 840, which is going to bump it's not going to be 165,000. How much is a ton? Thanks.
Well, did you minus the tonnage from Croner, if you take that away?
Yeah, because I think there's 13 loads
Well,
allocated.
it's the corner from Stoddard to Mescal is 8 loads, 448.
So you're gonna have 5 extra loads. Or no,
Seven
5, 6,
extra
7.
loads.
Okay, I just wondered if that. if you
So
took
that's gonna bump our
part of that.
costs
Okay,
up.
yeah, it's gonna bump it up,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you want it from Stoddard to Bauman. So we're gonna have to give this to Clint, and he's gonna have to rebid this.
So that's. Well,
When are they planning on dropping stone? Those
they
weight
get the-
restrictions are
yeah,
off.
I mean, we'll be like the
the tickets
second
are-
one on the list, which, you know,
So I think we should just make a motion to approve this.
yeah,
Yeah.
because we can change it. That's the thing.
Yeah, we-
It doesn't have to be in
Yeah,
concrete. We can,
we just wanna know that Weber gets done and take that Croner.
yeah, we can do that.
But the
The
We
just,
can put in there that we know the cost is gonna be more.
It's like budget adjustment,
Okay.
okay?
It's gonna
that's the
put-
counties there.
Okay, so we're gonna do the.
Yeah,
So we never hit it.
right.
we're gonna
See,
do
they've
the-
done that before where there was a small section
Right.
from this address to this address. They don't like to go too small because they got them semis coming one right after another.
So I'm gonna put limestone hall, with additional 7 loads.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that price would be different then.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna, all right, put that
7
down there, I
loads.
guess. So
I'm
it's gonna be,
put approximately. I gotta put a dollar amount in here.
well, use the old number, 165, 345, just
I'll
use that.
say, yeah,
Yeah, and then we'll just adjust that,
Okay.
go down to 1 chloride. They'll
And
keep it
one-
at 25,000. And you got the culvert on there, right, Werner?
So I have here the match money of 11,748.24 for Big Hand.
For Big Hand, and that comes out of the 31.
Yep, and then the cross culvert on Werner, the limestone hall with an additional 7 loads, approximately 165,000 in some, and 1 chloride at 25,000.
Right.
Okay.
And
Do we have any left?
we also need,
We're gonna be way over again.
we also need that work order for last year for 30 grand.
I sent that to him.
So he's already got it?
I sent that to him with the explanation that that's ARPA money and he can't spend it unless he gives us a work order to approve. It's not just that he's gonna decide where he's gonna spend that.
Well, he already said that.
Yeah, well, I just wanted him to know.
All right,
that.
so he's got it.
He's got it. I sent that. to
Do I
him.
need to contact him again?
Well, I sent that to him last week.
Well, I'll still call him back anyway.
So, okay, I'll make a motion to approve all of these. Totaling, let's see if I can get a.
With the addition of Weber Road?
I put, yeah, with an additional 7 loads and we'll have to tell.
Kim's Road?
Take that one
Kim's
road
Road?
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, oh, well, let's put that in there. Let's put that in the motion. We're gonna take off. We're gonna take
So-
off Kroner.
Yep.
Take off Kroner,
Between
take,
So-
Weber and Mesco, Roman. But I guess that's the only part it's getting at.
I gotta see what that's. We're gonna.
And there's a under the road
we're gonna take-
culvert on Weber
We're gonna take Kroner off
on
and
the
add. Weber.
east Bowman.
How far down?
It's about halfway. This guy called me. I went down there and looked the other day and he says that the county didn't put that in there, so
What is that?
Is it under the road or in a driveway?
under the road, but it's a small culvert, so he says it's illegally done there,
Is
so
it 12 or 18 inches?
it looks like 12.
Yeah,
it's
see, they'll
small.
rip that out and put an 18 in.
Yeah, but that's if they want one there. The water's draining south. That was the problem. The guy's got the water draining south over on this guy's property here. So it ain't gonna cost us nothing right now. I don't wanna have that on the agenda. That was just on one of my drive-bys
Yeah.
there, so.
So
I've
this
been doing
is
a
a-
lot of
This
drive-bys.
is,
Culverts, culverts will pop up.
this is approximately
Uh.
$210,693.
Mm-hmm.
And then did, we
And we
gave them that,
budgeted 365 for the year.
Well, I'm sure we'll use it somewhere else, but.
So we'll,
so you
Okay.
got a motion out for,
I made a motion to approve all of
Okay,
these.
let's go.
Take-
I'll second it.
Okay,
Okay, let's vote then. Jared,
Yes.
Stan.
yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Angie,
yes.
Brad, yes. And that should be it for that. Bills, all right, we got a few things left on this here.
This here. They wouldn't take a check from us from DTE because 2 of them got returned. I had to go down to the bank on Thursday and have them do a cashier's check. I talked to the lady at the bank. She waived the fee for me. I did spend quite a bit of time on the phone yesterday morning with DTE and pled our case. And got her to take the hold off, and because this said we were gonna have to send a cashier's check for the next year. But I managed to convince her that I think she looked back through all the years, we've never, ever, ever had a late payment till now. So I got her to agree to take this whole off. So that's that.
Anything else on the bills then?
I have a question. Can we get those bills automatically withdrawn?
Well,
So
Kim and I
that's-
talked about
this was
that.
the-
They're,
Kim and I
they're
talked about-
post audit already, right?
What
Yeah.
does that-
Yeah,
like a
they
check,
are.
you just
My only
suck that
question
dick.
is, and now
do you
even more
mean?
so with
You
her
like,
saying
you
that
can
I
have
can't
Edison,
do
like
it
I know
for
residents,
that.
you can have Edison,
We've
Oh, automatic.
automatic withdrawal. You don't have to worry about
Yeah,
it.
but we've never, I don't know until we talk to the auditor.
Okay.
Because we have a new auditor. The old auditor frowned upon that because there's no checks and balances kind of
Right.
type thing.
Well,
And then when
That's what the, sorry to interrupt you, but that's when you prepare it and then I send it, they said that's what the checks
Well,
and
that would make
balances
sense.
now.
But that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about the DTE automatically taking that money out. I had to call
Right.
BSNA today because that money came out of the bank, but I had no way to account for it in BSNA, so I had to have her explain to me how to make it so it could go to the street light bill. I mean, not street light, the hall bill to go against that part of our budget.
And I
So-
know how to do that too, so
Well-
now on if you have.
Well, if the auditor, and I don't know if that's something we want to do, if we want to start doing that. I've talked to a few other townships to see if they do that. Nobody really does,
I was just that way with
Yeah.
ZBA.
but I don't want to commit to anything or say we should till we see what the
Yeah,
auditors say.
do some research into it.
And
see
I
what's
tried,
possible.
you talked to him one time, I called
Mhm.
him last week. They're doing income tax, and I said I really wanted to get a couple answers for today to tell you guys, but I never got. a
I had to
response.
set up a phone appointment. It took me 4 weeks, just so you know.
I just-
Well, they told me they're so busy with
Yeah.
tax.
Right,
Give a
that's
few
why.
Well, my question was, and this is, I probably will have to call again. We have to do an ARPA report. I know our old auditor did it. It's due the end of April. I called them because they had given us a price on what it would cost to have it done. And that was their price, but that was in conjunction with them doing the audit. And now they're not our auditor anymore. So I called over to this new people and I said, this has to be done by the end of April or we lose the money we have left. And she said, I'll have him get back with you to see if he's gonna be able to do it. And I've heard nothing. We have 3 weeks.
All right, so we done with the bills?
Mhm.
All right, bank accounts, what do we got?
I need him
I
to
want-
commit to a day so we can go and change it and put those on because there's so many of those bank accounts that.
Well, I tried to and.
I've asked you several times. what
And I've
days
asked
work.
you too, but,
And-
yeah, that's fine.
And we also have to have, I have to be able to access them so I can look at stuff too. So when we do that, so that's all. I just wanted to
You
say.
wanna make
we
a date
made-
right now?
For positive pay, or I wanted to say with the bank accounts. We have positive pay on our general pool account. So what positive pay is, a lot of townships are having, Clyde Township is a perfect example. Somebody stole their mail out of the mailbox, got one of their checks, copied it, and was cashing them all over trying to cash them all over the country. Well, because they had positive pay, it picked it up. None of them made it through, but they kept even changing the amount of money on it. So, when that happened, she was able to, they didn't lose any money because of positive pay. Our issue is, but they also have a full-time clerk there. So, or deputy, I mean, sorry. And our issue is we have positive pay, if they send us a like positive pay alert on a Thursday after we leave, it has to be approved in 48 hours. If it's not approved, then they return it. So if it's a Thursday or Friday, we don't come back till Monday, there's nobody to approve it.
So what, like you say Thursday, you heard Thursday, so it'll be Friday.
Right, but I'm
Business
saying
day?
like Thursday after 2.
Right,
See, I
so
think
business
it
days,
should
would
be-
you have Friday and then to Monday or the counting
No,
Saturday, Sunday?
48 hours
Does it-
has to be done by 1 PM or they automatically decline
So
it.
it's not business, it's
It's
Saturday
48
included.
hours, legit 48 hours. So I tried to remove it when me and Angie went to the bank to add the deputies. And they told me if we remove it, that they will not cover any checks that go through or that end up coming through and we find out there's fraud. That would be on us.
so.
So I left it because
Right.
then I'm like, I don't know, it's $25 a month, but it's really a pain in the butt. But does it outweigh I don't know.
Had it, the township's had it for.
No, the township hasn't had it. We added
She
it
just
I
added
just
it,
added
she
it.
just added it.
because they recommended, we didn't have it. We have a lot of money in that account. And it's a pooled account, so everything but taxes and trust and agency go in that.
There's a
So is
So,
that,
large amount of money in there at times.
is that only on that pooled account?
yes, I didn't put it on other ones, cause I feel like we need it for there.
Yeah, I did talk to the bank manager about that the other day, because I think when those 2 checks got returned from DTE, I think part of the problem is Kim was using a pink pen, and she thinks that might have been what was kicking it out to be looked at, because it can't read that.
Yeah, they said
That
that it
color.
wasn't, though I called them today.
Oh, well, that's what she thought. Anyway, and because she's the one that does the banking, she's the one that's got to okay it. And she said, they said I could, but I can bring that bank account up, but she showed me her screen and ours don't match.
Right, so I don't know if she needs another permission, I don't know.
But that doesn't mean anything, because if I'm not here on Thursday afternoon, or they send it, I don't check that bank.
Well,
They
like
have it
I
at the
told
end of
you,
the day.
they wanted us, or said that if you, and I don't really know how it works. When you prepare all the checks, there's a way to import into the bank account that list of checks. As long as they can see what our checks were, what we wrote, they automatically, it's
Well,
like pre-approving them, but.
If there's a way I could do that without, I'm not gonna manually enter every one, if there would be a way to import that.
I don't,
Yeah.
I'd be honest, I don't honestly know, I would assume yes, but I don't really know.
Well, I may call her back and ask her about that, because if we can do that, that would eliminate a lot of issues.
Right.
Scanner.
So,
But that's what's
Yeah,
kicking it out.
Yeah, that's. we can-
Roland's paycheck, the last 2 paychecks he got kicked out, and he has a bank account there, and they still took his checks and,
Because they think it's
All
right.
right, so you got a game plan?
yeah, we got a
Apply
plan. Then we'll figure it out.
All right, so we're gonna move on?
Yep.
Okay, blight and liquor control positions. We are looking for people that is being advertised also, so get your resumes in. I got a couple right now. And that's it, so
on the liquor control, when we were at that meeting, they did say most townships are pushing it towards the state. It's because
Back
nowhere
up,
does it.
yeah.
Back to the
we've been
state.
trying to do that, but they tell us to go to the county. The county says they ain't gonna do it, and then they say to go to state. State don't wanna be messing with it. It's right now, we're trying to work it out.
You wanna do the liquor control?
I've been talking to liquor control since December when we let Tracy go, and the one lady gave me all this advice on how to do things. I found Kim had the contract that Phoebe signed. There's a clause in there, if you don't have a person, it goes to the county. So I called the county and nobody has any idea what I'm talking about. So I've called like 6 different people in the liquor control. I finally emailed the guy yesterday, and he sent me an email back and said there's a person that takes care of our area, and he would contact me about what to do. I talked to Lennox Township, Macomb County sheriffs to do all their liquor inspections. But I think Mike said he talked to the St. Clair County Sheriff and they don't do them.
I would just say.
And she said the money that we would get, we would have to turn over to the sheriff's department. We only get $1,600 a year. It's not like it's gonna
Yeah.
break the bank. I would be more than happy to say, let them do it.
I would just say, if you do hire someone, just let that person know that the job may be eliminated. If we find out we can take it to the state,
Yeah.
that
Well,
they, so if it's not a year contract, then you.
I have, Dave was over here. He applied for that, the blight, and he was talking about the liquor control also.
The only other issue we're gonna have too is because the roadhouse has now become.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, just maybe just let me.
You still have to inspect them because they're gonna serve alcohol.
Right.
So we'll have to find out a way to contact them, because we only have, 4 or 5 left.
Is Dave gonna be giving up his position on the
He
ZBA?
would have to,
Yeah,
Oh.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that,
yeah. Yeah,
And then-
you can't be an employee and on a board.
correct, right. So that's why I was asking.
All right, move on to board discussion then.
Other board discussion. I would like to, and we kind of all talked about it once before, get a forensic audit done. For not
This
only,
is news to me.
not only would that help with making sure we are doing everything correctly, it would just be nice to know where we stand.
We had an
I-
audit, new company, yeah.
If you don't.
No,
We have
I,
not-
I think what we should do actually is get this audit done for this year and see where we're at. If that thing looks funky, then maybe go back and do a forensic audit.
Let the new
But
auditors look at it.
we have enough problems right
Yeah,
now.
a forensic audit is extremely
Right.
expensive.
Let the new auditors take a look at it and see
Yeah.
what they find.
It is
Yeah.
extremely
Right.
expensive, but, at the same time, like, if we are doing something wrong or
Well, we'll-
not right,
We'll,
then it could cost us way more in
Well,
that.
hopefully maybe the new auditor might find something.
this
We'll
new
see how they do
auditor
for a
will
little
check
bit,
everything over and see
and then
how
we'll
things
go
are
from
going
there.
Well,
and make suggestions
But I'd
of
say
what we
it's not
can
right
and
now.
can't
It's with the
do.
new auditor.
No.
And I did,
not right
and
now.
I did investigate, they do several townships down in Lenawee County, so I know they know how to audit townships.
any other board discussion?
I'm gonna be taking a class at the end of the month. To be a certified treasurer for the township. It's 3-year class. Well, it's a 1-week class, for 3 years, so 3 weeks total. At the end of the month. And so, I wanna say it is April 30th through, it's a Monday through a Friday. So the class is $5.99 and
And we budgeted $500 for your
Yeah.
education, you've already used 400 with going to the MTA thing.
no, the MTA thing was on last year's budget.
No, I haven't paid the bill.
Oh, well, it should have been on last year's budget because that's when we agreed to it. So,
That's not quite how it works.
well,
Well, we heard the topic. We'll table it for now.
we can't table it because it's at the end of the month.
Again,
Well,
you brought no
No,
documentation.
I make a motion. We do
Well,
not vote
other-
on anything brought to this table right
Board
in
discussion.
one night. We have no
So,
documentation, no literature or nothing about this thing. Give us some information.
I would have loved to give you information if you would have took it from me
Oh,
on Wednesday.
that's right.
so-
Mm.
Okay.
Okay,
So, I wanna make a motion, cause it is my,
Is it,
it is
It's-
my, I have the money in my budget to go to this.
is that to be that all, treasurers are certified in other counties?
No,
Is Something.
It, they're starting to because there's a lot
But it's
less.
not necessary.
It's not necessary, but they're starting to because it's a lot less liability. Our surety bond doesn't have to be as high, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, so you may save in bonding by getting the
the,
certification.
the surety bond, I think, was only $1,900 for 4 years.
I know, but
But-
it saves on the surety bond
Will they give you some back?
because you
I don't know,
have your
yours was,
state certified.
Will they give you some back? You already paid them
Well-
on?
no, it's paid for.
Tell us about the
I don't know.
surety bonds are how much typically?
The rest of us paid 1,400. For me
Okay.
and my deputy, well, I took my deputy off because I found out that she doesn't have to be.
Is she covered under yours though?
She doesn't
No.
have the money,
But you're,
although now I'm thinking about it, she can sign checks,
But
I
what
mean,
I-
I should.
what I'm asking is
Hers was 1,900.
1,900. So if she gets certified, is that gonna drop
I
that fee
highly
or
doubt
what?
that.
Will drop that
I don't
fee.
think so, that, you might wanna call
Well,
the.
That's what the MMTA said.
How about we just do some more research on it throughout the year, then if it's something that's necessary and needed.
Yeah,
then next
I
year we
agree.
can- This is
Well-
a yearly thing, you only get one shot at it.
Yeah, it starts
So
this
next
year. They
But-
started out in a 4-year term because it's for basically new treasurers. So you'll go this year, then next year at this time, then the 3rd year at that time, you'll take your state test. And then you're certified for your last year so that you can run again as a certified
Oh, so it'll just be,
certified treasurer.
if it's not something that a lot of townships are doing, and I don't know.
Actually, Clyde Township's doing it.
They're doing it now, I mean, I don't,
Yeah,
Those-
she's going to it.
They've been in it for a while.
Well, she
I
did,
guess,
this will be
how
her
much is the
first.
class?
$5.99.
I'd rather pay somebody $600 to come and show you how to use a lot of that stuff that you're.
Well,
struggling
it's
Yeah,
not-
the
it's not just
BSNA.
using The computer, it's
I
all the
understand that.
laws
I
and
understand,
everything.
I understand that, Kim, but there's some basic things you need to learn on BSNA that we're struggling with right now.
And we are getting that taken care of. Jessica is coming and helping me get used to that, so. this last class or this last week, I learned a ton, so. But it is kind of a one,
So this, well, it's over. I was wondering how we can word this, so we can get some more information before the 30th, if I can do a little bit more research. Anyway.
Give us the research and we call a
we're not-
special meeting
we're
if
not
you wanna
special
do
meeting,
that.
it's just You there, then it's good to go, proceed, or we gotta figure this, we gotta make a decision this second.
I mean.
I don't agree
again,
with
it's-
making a
And
decision
where-
this second.
Up
This,
north.
this has
So
gotta
it's up
stop,
north,
man.
so that means we're gonna have to also pay for a hotel for all
Yep.
those nights.
That's part of it,
Now,
but it comes out of my budget. That, so I'll move it out of whatever else I got.
Well, let's just vote on the issue. Never mind about where the money's gonna come from. What about the issue? What else?
So, leaving that, like I said, I don't know what's the, if it's not a demand,
No, it's not.
yeah, I don't know, but it's.
Not a
that's where they're-
requirement.
that's where they're going, and we can't jump into it next year.
Yeah, I can't jump into it next year, so I have to get
Well,
into it this year.
If
to
we
be
had
able-
literature, we
but
could see
need
about
to-
that.
To verify that,
Yeah.
I would like something to read
Yeah.
to make a decision. I feel like,
I mean, I can
I
give
feel
you
like
something
we've
to
done this
read
too many
tomorrow.
I feel like we've jumped into decisions
Right.
in the past,
Spending our-
not just with this board but in previous boards. And I remember when Pat was the clerk, she said to me, we jump into a decision and then we live to regret it because we haven't researched it enough.
I'd just like to see what the benefits of it would be, you know, and documentation.
Well, it's mostly probably personal that you can take that certification and go to different counties or state or
Really, the
whatever, you know.
treasurer that free fish, so.
That's not true. You can be,
But township, it is true.
if you're in a township, but you could, the clerk in St. Clair is a hired position. The treasurer's a hired position. They're not voted in.
Oh, see, I don't know that, cause. I'm
Yeah,
in this
so
one.
like I could take that class
But it-
too. I just felt like it was money that could be spent for the township's use somewhere else, and I learned my things. I go to clerk's meeting once every quarter, and if I have questions, I call people and get that, because
But again,
I
it's
would bet
in-
there's
it's
different
in
ways
my
to get
budget.
certified like that,
It's in my
honestly.
budget, so
because they got these courses everywhere.
oh, yeah, and what about all those online classes that we paid that $1,900 for? Has anybody taken one of those?
I've taken one of them.
Is there a way you can show us which ones you've taken? Cause I called them and
I
I
don't know.
wanted to take one for the earned sick time, which is a law now. And they don't have a video for that. They have no webinar, nothing.
Oh, that's a law now?
It is.
Yeah, there's a law.
Yeah, we have to pay because we have less than 10 employees. They get 40 hours of sick time and it accrues for every,
Paid?
But they have to work so many hours.
yeah, I have it set up in BSNA. I had to call them and have them help me set it up. Most places are doing 72 hours. If you're over 10 employees, you have to do 72 hours and it can roll over. And actually I talked to Jessica from Clyde and a couple other people and they said they're front loading it and just automatically giving the people the hours. I won't do that.
She
I
said
will-
she wasn't doing
She
that
did.
either.
Oh,
She
no.
said
They wanted.
a
her to.
lot are doing
Yeah.
that, but not to do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that because you give them 40 hours of sick time, they take it and they quit the next day.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
Right.
happened.
So
But again,
again, they
the
didn't have
class is
nothing.
out of, is using my budget, so I'm allowed to use the budget for whatever I feel is necessary in my department. And I think that would be a good thing.
I motion to table it until we can get more information. Any seconds?
Well, if we.
You want a second?
Oh, mhm.
All right, we have a second. Stan, what do you vote?
So can I give, let me just ask this question, so can I give you information before the end of the month? Does that count?
Yeah, of course. I mean, how we come about.
Yeah.
For the class, yeah, but.
Right now, we just table it for this meeting.
because I-
No
I
voting
put
on
all my
nothing. That's what I want. Let's get
Yeah.
information and
Get some
research.
information, and
I'm just
figure out how to
putting
get you in. If it's something
table
that's
for
worth it,
more
we'll
info.
figure out how to get you in there before it kicks off.
So we could have a quick special meeting if necessary.
If necessary. So, we have a second?
Yeah. You asked
Did
me
you
to
vote?
What, read the motion again?
To tables till we get more information.
Yes.
Kim,
how long is that?
Jared,
Yes.
You
Angie,
said yes, Kim?
No,
You said no. Okay, I say yes.
Jared said yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Okay.
said yes.
Okay.
So motion carries. Are we done with the board discussions
Is
then?
there any report with the lawyer with any of the cases?
Nothing right now.
Oh,
Oh, I got
wait,
it.
I have one more thing I wanna say.
Me too.
So I have a check for Tracy, that last check that we, because we sent 3 to him a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
We have one more check. I called him and told him that he took my binder with all the information for the liquor inspections, all the license numbers, what they're running, how
I
they,
know what
what
you're
they're
gonna say.
operating under, because like.
That's our property, isn't it?
It is our
Yes,
property,
it
it's
is.
gone. I searched that room, Justin and I looked everywhere. I told him a couple times I needed that binder. I'm the keeper of the records. I don't have it. I called him 2 weeks ago and I said, I need that binder back. He said, oh, I'll look for it. Justin did have an idea that maybe he gave it to that Bryan card because he was doing some of it. I want to hold this check back
Yeah.
until we get it. Okay?
Yes.
Are you guys okay with that?
fair
For
enough,
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's holding something that.
Yeah.
It's $7,500, right?
And I will call him and say, when you bring the binder, I'll just.
Well, I was
have
gonna
him sign
suggest holding it
out.
anyhow till we find out with this lawsuit.
Yeah, well, it isn't a lawsuit, it's just a request to get paid. So this would be the last payment that he was asking for, but
And
I'm
then
gonna
he's done.
call. And yeah, and he told me he was willing to just be done with it.
But payment for work done, not work that.
Work that he did finalize on
And
the
Justin
jobs, yes.
printed the stuff,
Work you did, okay.
yeah.
So, yeah. And
Yeah,
that
so-
should be in there too also.
But I do want, I did wanna ask you guys if you were okay. with it.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's
perfect. We gotta figure out what that binder for sure.
And
Okay.
then I would like to make a
So-
motion, concerning the lawyer, that we get his bills every month. Because now it's 3 months we haven't had a bill from him, and it's gonna be huge. And there's no reason why we should not have a bill every month from him if he wants to get paid. So,
Okay.
I agree. I don't know why he's not saying it. I don't know
Yeah.
why he wouldn't,
Yeah, I don't
why
know.
he'd wait.
I'll support her motion.
What's, say the motion again here for everybody to hear?
that the lawyer turns in, any lawyer that we have, not just Quistra, any lawyer we have must turn in, their bill every 30 days. So,
I'm just gonna put.
Well,
monthly.
Monthly.
Yeah, send in the bill.
well, monthly, but I figured 30 days.
Okay, so you second,
Yes.
Dudek, okay, so vote Kim,
Yes,
Stan,
Yes.
Jared,
Yes.
Angie,
I'm gonna say no, because I know how things happen.
I'll abstain.
You say yes?
I'll abstain.
Oh, you're.
Yeah. doesn't matter. He did the work, you get paid, in my opinion. Okay, is that it for the board discussion? We can move on to public comment? Yes? Okay. Ma'am, you wanted to say something, public comment?
I just want to say, I think it would be a good idea. She handles a lot of money, and I would like her personally, for me, to know the inside and out and the rules up and down, forward and backward, to handle the money that's handled for, my money that's handled for this township. And so I'm glad she would know everything she needs to know about it. I don't understand what would be anything wrong with any of you wanting to take any classes to learn your job better. I would think that I would be all for that, for any of you, because you handle everything that goes on for our community.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be a very good idea to get as much experience and knowledge, since you're all new, to know about it, so that you know exactly what you're doing and there's not any screw ups down the road. That's what I think.
Anything else? Come on up there.
I think Nathan.
Yes, sir. I have 2 things here.
Yes,
You're
What's your name, please?
Bob Orlowski. I live on Weber.
Yep.
Okay, you're talking about, you have to take control of all your, for your phone company, for your bank, for everything else like that. You need documents to prove who was supervisor with the date on it to your current supervisor and the date you were sworn in, and any copies of the election results. And every institution has to accept that. If they do not, they are liable and you don't have to pay. Second thing I have is Weber Road.
That's for the Verizon you're talking?
Yes, for the Verizon, for the phone company.
Yeah.
They have to accept that.
Okay,
And Sunco too.
so write that down, everything you just said about what I
I
have to
have
do.
right, so.
Okay, you have to prove the documents, what was and to what is. And the election results, they have to accept. That goes for all your companies that you have to do business with, that you are the controlling custodian. Second thing I have is Weber Road. I live at 10200, but right across the street's the Ward Farm. It used to be the 3 sections. Well, I got a culvert that goes through. When they dug the ditch out 3 years ago, I sit there and pointed out to the culvert. I mean, it's starting to, there's hardly any culvert going at the bottom. So if you're gonna do the road with stone, take a look at the culvert and see if you do have another year or two before you do the stone. Cause I hate to see you put new stone down and then tear up the road again with the culvert.
Okay,
So you're
So-
saying the culvert is bad,
Yeah, cause when the guys,
is it right by your house then?
yeah, it's right.
10200, you said?
Yeah, I wrote
again?
that down.
10200?
10200, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
You can call me on the phone too, you know. I'm going around, I'm driving around, I'm taking care of everybody's stuff, so.
Trying to see if they save money, because otherwise you dig it up and then you gotta
Right.
restone it, you gotta.
Well, that's the input I need, you know, to do this job.
Just a couple of things.
So-
That's all I have to say, and I thank you for the time.
All right.
Thank you.
Do you wanna talk, Nathan?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a couple years ago, we had an issue at the cemetery over on Pittmanshire. They had the zero turn mowers in there that whoever was doing the landscaping at the time. And they did a lot of damage to that cemetery, and I don't know, I haven't been back there, I can't go back there. And it's hard. I would not like to see a zero turn in that again. But they
Okay,
buried 4 headstones that I got.
really?
Yes,
I did make a police report.
yeah.
I went out there with the sheriff and we did contact the company and we made them move everything back the way it was. I had all the pictures you gave me.
Oh, yeah, I had a lot of pictures. It wasn't just my section. There was other sections too, where they just took the zero turn and they rip it around, they hit a headstone. They would push it 8 to 10 inches. And it'd be turned, they knocked them over, they did all kinds of damage.
We got rid of them. We
Yeah.
don't, that isn't.
But
Oh,
I'm suggesting
okay.
if you have anybody else come in here now,
Remember
you have
Mike?
to use a zero
Remember
turn.
the Mike guy who did the
Was
stuff
it,
back
there
here?
just wasn't enough room?
M&M.
That had.
Oh,
The guys, they
okay.
go
That's when
fast
we
and
got
they
Tony
just
to
rip it
start
around
brush
and they're not paying no attention. The grass does not grow very high in there due to all the trees.
Right.
So, but that's an issue that should be, there's an issue that we had in the past. And I don't
So-
wanna see it happen
So,
again.
so when you guys call to find out grass cutting, make sure you tell them that we would prefer them not to use that because then they won't do any damage. I'll tell you.
Almost
one nice-
every mowing
Yeah.
company uses zero
The-
turns.
the one
They
nice-
did
The one nice,
thousands of dollars
yeah.
of damage just on my little section.
Kittredge,
Yeah.
our
Just-
township cemetery.
so.
On Warner.
Who's maintaining it now?
it's Stafford is cutting it now, but I do wanna say one thing. I went out there one day to check on something and
But
they
it
were out there.
wasn't Stanford.
Oh,
it was
somebody had
company
put a
before.
bench in front of a grave and somebody had said, oh, they're not supposed to do that. So I went out there to look. And Stafford had, they were young people. They were probably late teens, early 20s. And they were weed whipping around every single grave. And I said, do you want me to tell them they have to remove the bench? And they said, you know, if it makes them happy, we'll just weed whip around it. It's not a big deal to us. So I was pretty impressed that that was their attitude.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a fair sized cemetery, but the grass doesn't grow tall.
Right, and that's sandy soil. there,
Very
too.
sandy, very
Yeah,
sandy.
So I do go check it out, cause you know where I live, I'm right down the road.
Yeah.
from there, So I go check it out all the time. And, but if they get some prices, then we wanna make sure.
Where, yeah, you gotta, you think you understand.
That's my
Well,
thing.
That, they have to have a pretty good bond.
That's what I was gonna ask him,
Damage.
do they
Right.
carry liability for that?
They, because they're an LLC, we don't have to have that, but we should. We could add, and tell them, oh, we wanna see their make sure they have liability insurance.
I thought you had to. You make me every time get a liability if I do.
Are you
$5
an
worth of
LLC?
work.
No, well,
Yes,
you,
you do.
you, once you did it the first time,
You've been on me every year, every
I
time it
have never
expires.
been on. you.
Angie, you do.
I'm not.
All right,
arguing
let's
with
not, let's not
Okay.
argue.
So we're
Okay,
gonna.
you got a comment?
Yeah.
All right, let's
Okay,
hear it.
okay, since you've been in how long? 5 months? Okay,
4.5.
4.5, right? How many times was there lawsuits in the previous board years? Okay, and I'm not asking for answers. But right now, we got so many cases right now, correct?
No,
Tracy, one of them. He was fired in November. Who hired him back? You. We're stuck in this position again with Tracy. Why did you hire him back?
I thought we discussed this before at the meeting, but I'll discuss it again.
Well, hold on, let me finish. I'll ask that one question. Well, I don't want to get cut off like I did last time. Get 3 minutes up.
Well, you wanted to make an appointment to come and see me and talk to me and vent.
Let's get this
and-
out in the open and let the people see.
Well,
what I
that's
want.
fine,
I want
okay.
them to see the real Bryan. You want to complain about hours on people not being here? I was here 3 times when you were supposed to be here.
What time was that?
12:30 and 1 o'clock.
Which
one
day? I
No,
mean,
no, no. You want it? I was on.
you're just
Monday,
wanting to argue,
Tuesday.
Tony. Just settle down.
Well, I'm
Just
just
take
busy
it
here
easy.
irritated. That's fine. And you should be working for us, not for what Brad Smith is. But anyway.
Don't paying the bills have any, you have any concern for paying the
Let's
bills
take
on
the phone
time?
bill.
I mean,
Come on,
really?
You complain about people having training.
This is where it gets off track. All right, go ahead. Tell me your complaints. Just get them,
Okay,
vent,
People,
purge. You need to purge.
no, I'm just telling
Say
you
it.
facts.
so what was the second? Your first one was Tracy. What's your
Tracy.
second complaint?
What was the next one? Go down your
The
list.
second one is his hours.
Well, just so
What's
you
his
know.
hours?
Well,
No, just so you
I'll-
know, the law doesn't require any set hours, because when they
Exactly.
tried to do that to Kim, I said, you can't force her to work certain hours. You can't.
Agree,
make her own.
but in the same sense, he's gonna say that, or you even say that she's never here. But
Well,
I've gone, Brad, I've actually 12 o'clock, you're going by. You ain't coming back here.
Yeah, I'm doing drive rounds, dude. You know?
How?
Okay,
I've been here
anything
now for
else?
2 weeks.
Yeah.
anything else?
Yeah, the Board of Review. Who's the secretary for the Board of Review?
Supposed to
Whose
be,
job is it?
Whoever they appoint,
No, whose job is it?
I don't know, they.
Okay, this is why last week I was
Yes.
asking at the last meeting, I wanted a description of each of the job duties.
the
Look
board
under
of-
the supervisor.
The, bo-
Secretary for the Board of Review is the supervisor. I want the minutes from the last board meeting, from the last Board of
Board of
Review.
Review is run by assessing, not by us. He can be the, secretary,
So who
but
is? And is there
whoever
minutes?
they voted for, I
Yeah.
think it was Scott Silver.
they vote for a chairman, they
No,
vote for the
it's actually
secretary.
Is the supervisor's
Yeah.
statutory
Bruce ne-
duty
Bruce
to-
never did
Exactly.
it. Bruce
You
never
can't,
did
you
it.
can't look at who back. That's what I'm saying. We keep going
But
back.
Tony, you need to
Don't-
calm down,
Calm down. I'm talking regularly.
okay? I guess my question to you would be, why was it not an issue when Bruce was a supervisor that he wasn't the secretary? I'm not defending him or agreeing with him. I'm just saying, you never had an issue till now. Explain why it's become an issue when
Why? Because
all the last Bruce was a supervisor for 12 years. It was never an issue.
Well, who did it for Bruce, though? Did
Bruce
do
never
it?
did it.
They elected their own people.
well, that was before Angie, right? That's what I always get told. But anyway, that's what you're famous for saying. Well, that was
Okay,
on the last-
okay, so what
that's
else you
we
got,
used to-
Tony? Let's move along. Let's move along.
No, there's no. I'll be good for.
That's it?
That's your 3 minutes.
I don't see it. I'll be in. I'll be.
I've been waiting.
Okay. Okay.
So anyway, anybody else? Go ahead.
First off, they put all these drains up here between Crawford and Ballman and all that. You guys are talking about drains. This last storm, you couldn't find my yard 300 yards from the drain. It's got so much water going down Crawford from all these drains into a 48-inch culvert. Next one after me, 48 inches. Next one after that, 48 inches. Where the hell's all this water supposed to go? That's a 60-inch culvert coming through Ballman. Not
It goes to my house.
Not-
That's where it goes.
So what's your address?
Huh?
What's your address?
9627 Crawford, on the first drain that all these drains hit.
562.
9627 Crawford.
So I don't know what the problem is that they got.
Okay, what's your name?
John Bryan.
Spell that last name?
GRI.
Oh, Greg, okay.
No, that's considered all county drainage.
So you're talking about the culvert,
Or what?
where on Crawford?
The 60 inches north, off Crawford on Ballman, then they put a 48 south of Crawford on Ballman. Then I've got 248s coming up from the farm across the street from me to the south side of Crawford. All them drains come to my 48-inch drain. For the
Okay.
first time in 20 years after they did all these ditchings, my whole 200 yards of driveway looked like a waterfall. I called the drain commission, they said it's my problem. How in the hell am I supposed to do something with that much water? Every time it rains now, the water comes over my culvert, across and into my neighbor's yard. To the point where I can't get almost out of my driveway because it's washed all the dirt, both sides of the culvert, coming up and over it.
It's funneling, bigger and it's choking down at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I put a 60-inch in, what's it gonna do? The guy not even 100 feet away from me's got a
That same
48.
issue, yeah, you passed the buck.
And right past that,
Yeah.
so it's still gonna plug up, but I'm right now the first plug.
Right. That's just, it seems like the towns or the counties are bad engineering.
Yeah.
By having one up.
Well, there's a lot of issues like that. I mean, they just started putting these huge ones in now too, and by what I've been seeing, these little ones across underneath the driveways, they're plugged up, they're not big enough, et cetera, you know? I mean, this stuff's been going on for 75 years or whatever, you know? I mean, it's gonna take some time to get this stuff corrected, you know?
My driveway doesn't have 75 years. I can't get out of it, my only means in and out. I have heavy trucks that go in and out personally.
Mhm.
Color county. and
Well,
what, you know,
I'll look at it.
You need to start at the bottom.
I-
and work their way up.
But-
Yeah, they gotta go.
Start, you know, they started upstream and not
Yeah, it does
downstream.
no good. They gotta start from where the dumps. I agree there, and that's what Brad's been saying also. Trying to get him to start from where it dumps and work the way to where it starts.
I like what you said earlier though, about the whole board needs to learn, it takes time. This is only the second time I've been to a board meeting, they're still hammering only one person. Professionalism is,
They're not hammering me?
huh?
They're not hammering me?
You complained one time about getting attacked, you did nothing, you spent the last 2.5 hours attacking one person. And from my view, I'm just.
I didn't see it that way, but is that 3 minutes?
Then,
Oh, yeah.
well, all of a sudden now it's 3 minutes. But I wanted you to reset the clock when you were talking to me then, so I got more time. Really,
Oh.
be professional, you sit there laughing at.
I'm trying to be professional, but you know, you're not seeing the big picture, okay? The big picture is this. The bills aren't getting paid. No one has any concern for that. Do you not have any concern about paying the
My
bills?
concern is out of this whole board of elected officials paid by my tax dollar. Only 3 of you had the professionalism to know that you needed to learn and went and got classes. You
Oh, I-
definitely need classes.
I've been taking classes too,
You're-
and I've been reading books.
Work. Let's see
Well,
it.
let's see
Let's see
it.
it.
All right, that's it.
Yeah, we're done.
Oh,
Motion to adjourn.
When you act like that, what do you expect?
Your turn, Sid.
All right,
Back to this gentleman's concern about the cemetery.
yeah.
I've worked with the past building inspector, Dave Hilkendorf. 15 years ago on Arlington Road, that little Kettle Ridge is.
That
that
doesn't
the name?
belong to us.
Kilgridge,
I'm sorry.
It doesn't belong.
Oh,
to
that
us. We
cemetery?
It
thought it
doesn't?
belonged to us, but it's a private cemetery. Yep, I have the deed.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, my comment was, a lot of those headstones are back from the 17 and 1800s. You know where most of them are?
Down in the ditch, down the.
Down the
Yeah,
embankment
yeah.
in the
Pat,
Bell River.
Pat and I went there and tried to fix it up and I know they're down.
but that's not ours.
No, it's a privately owned.
Isn't it an
So
old
we
Indian
can't do nothing
burial or
about it.
something?
Pardon?
That's an old Indian burial, isn't it?
No, but it's like Civil War stuff and.
Oh, okay.
Tulips, I pulled them all out, took them home and my husband painted up.
Are we responsible for those headstones?
Aren't responsible because we don't.
Because it's private?
Yeah, we sold it to, I could show you the deed. Pat always said we owned it and then I found out we didn't.
Yeah, who's the owner?
I'd have to pull it out. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's not in my drawer.
Can I ask a question? Why is these people that are preaching the Constitution and everything coming in here? Why is the person that's preaching the Constitution coming in here and demanding? Maybe we should demand that. We had this problem before, maybe we should demand that he doesn't come here, waste more time and money by waiting with the man, correct?
I'm gonna make a motion.
I mean,
I make a motion to adjourn,
Does anybody support?
I'll second.
Okay, all eyes.
Adjournment,
I second.
Okay.
Yes.
yes, yes.
All eyes.
All right.
Go ahead.
Brad, I'm curious what classes you've been taking.
Well,
We're out and heard for what classes she's been taking and needed documentation, but all of a sudden you take some.
where's their documentation? Where's the documentation?
I sent you pictures every class I took. So,
You should send me pictures of signs.
yeah, that's classes I took.
I mean, it's more proof than you got. I should call this in.
Okay. Meeting's adjourned. So I ask you this, come here. Come here, I wanna ask you a question.